Greetings one more time, everybody. This is your last week, chapter 16. We'll be talking about the Critic. But first, I wanted to thank all of you for your contribution to the class, and hopefully, most of you have stayed with me throughout, and you're going to be completing the class. But anyway, I hope that you've learned something. And I would hope that you would go on and view live theater, see live theater. If you get a chance, see the bigger ones, like Beauty and the Beast, like Les Miserables, things like that. But theater is really an interesting thing. Theater moves, theater changes us here. Theater is one of the things you really can't be without once you think about it. Let me give you a little reading here, what it says. It's 11 o'clock. The lights fade in final time. The curtain falls, the audience applauds, and the play is over. The actors go back to the dressing rooms, take off their makeup, and depart. The audience disperses into the night. But the theatrical experience is not over. In important ways, it is just the beginning. A play does not begin and end its life on a stage. The play begins in the mind of its creator, and its final repository is in the minds and memories of its audiences. The stage is simply a focal point where the transmission takes place, in the form of communication we know as theatrical performance. After the performance is over, the play's impact remains. We hope it remains. It is something to think about, talk about, fantasize about, and live with for hours, days, and years to come. Some plays we remember all of our lives. Plays whose characters are as indelible in our memories as the people in our personal lives. Plays whose settings are more deeply experienced than were many of our childhood locales, and plays whose themes abide as major object lessons behind our decision-making. Should we take up arms against the sea of troubles? Can we depend on the kindness of strangers? What's in a name? Shall we be as defiant as Prometheus, as determined as Oedipus, or passionate as Romeo, as accepting as Winnie, as noble as Hecuba? What is Hecuba to us, or we to Hecuba? We talk about these matters with our friends. We also talk about the production, about the acting, about the costumes, the scenery, the sound effects. Were we convinced, impressed, moved, transported, changed? And there's the word, changed. Did the production hold our attention throughout? Did our involvement with the action increase during the play, or did we feel a letdown after intermission? Did we accept the actors as the characters they were playing, or were we uncomfortably aware that they were simply acting their parts rather than embodying their roles? Now that's interesting. Did you look at them as actors up on stage? Or did you look at them as the people they are portraying? And if you're really a good actor, you don't see them acting at all. Dustin Hoffman is a good example of that. He doesn't even look like he's acting. He looks like he's just acting himself. But he's worked many, many years, hard years, to be able to do that. And even in the movies, you'll see a few people that I think you'll see them acting. In a way, Robert Redford, you could see that he was an actor. Let me give you a little story real quick. Dustin Hoffman was doing a movie with Sir Laurence Olivier. And after the end of the day, Dustin Hoffman was so tired because he was doing a type of acting called method acting, where he really got into his part. He really did this and that. He just felt that way. If it was a play or a movie that he was supposed to be dirty, he didn't even shower for a week, so he smelled dirty. And so very method acting, so at the end of the day he was very, very tired. But Sir Laurence Olivier, who some consider one of the greatest actors that's ever lived, he was ready to go. He was ready to go out and get a drink. He wasn't tired at all. And Dustin Hoffman came up to him and he said, "Lawrence, what is going on here? We both do the same amount of acting, but by the end of the day, I'm so tired that I can't even stand up. And you're ready to go out and get a drink and do a little partying. Why? And Sir Laurence Olivier looked at Dustin Hoffman and he said, try acting. Now look at the difference there. Sir Laurence Olivier, who is considered one of the greatest actors that's ever lived, when he's acting, you see him not as an actor, but you see him portraying the character. As a matter of fact, I read a piece that said Sir Laurence Olivier, he performed Taming of the Shrew by William Shakespeare, but he did the part of the woman, the part of the shrew. And the critics came and they saw it and they looked at it and they wrote it down, and what did they say? They said, Sir Laurence Olivier has performed that part better than anyone, including women, could do. Even though it was a woman's part, he was that good. But the basic end, and the critic had the final say so too. Especially on Broadway. If the critics don't like the play, the play ends in just a couple weeks. If they do like the play, it can go on for years. So you really have to, in a way, please those critics. And of course, those critics, after they get up that high, become that important. They have to be careful to say the right things. You put a few $1 million into a play, critic comes in and he pans it, she pans it, and so you just lost millions of dollars, and a lot of the producer and a lot of the people are maybe even go bankrupt. So it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. But in the college setting, the money is there already. And so that is why I went to the college setting, because we were able to educate. We had enough money to educate the students and educate the audience. So I would say that educate yourselves. Read plays too. Read some plays. Find out who the best playwrights are of today. What great playwrights are there today. So I'm sure you'll be reading some of the book or have read about some of the book. Find out more about them. And enjoy yourselves. So thank you very much. Everyone have a good day, and thanks for joining in.